Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about early learning hubs and what is that? What does it mean? Um, like I said, I'm the Early Learning Hub Systems Coordinator for Clackamas County. Stephanie says, talk into the microphone. So I'm the Early Learning Hub Systems Coordinator for Clackamas County, and I've been here just about a month. I've met many of you, and I'm excited to see many of you, and I'm excited that you're all here today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the Early Learning Hubs are and what we're doing here in Clackamas County. This could be a many hour presentation, so we're just giving you a little brief snapshot, but we'll certainly be available for questions as well as we have some information about how to connect with us later. So, just to tell you a little bit about Early Learning Hubs. Early Learning Hubs work to convene cross sector partners to work together to create local systems for children 0 to 6 that are aligned, coordinated, and family centered. So, many of our partners are here today, which I'm really excited about. So, if you're working as a part and joining us in the Early Learning Hub, would you raise your hand so we can see you today? Anybody that's doing any work that Awesome. Thank you. So, hubs work to assure that families receive the support they need to become healthy, stable, and attached, and that their children receive the early learning experiences that they need to thrive and be ready for kindergarten. So, these programs, the hubs, are funded through the Early Learning Division as a part of the Oregon Department of Education. So, there are 16 hubs, sorry, there are 16 hubs in Oregon, and they're organized by region. So Clackamas County, we are our own region. So the larger metropolitan areas like Washington, Clackamas, Multnomah counties, Marion counties, we serve a whole county. Whereas in the more rural parts of the state, like Eastern Oregon, they serve many counties because there's not as much population. But we are our own hub here in Clackamas County. Yeah, we can go to the next one. Thanks. Like I said, hubs are groups of people collaborating towards a shared vision. And all 16 hubs in the state have three common goals, which are listed up there, which is an aligned and coordinated early learning system that is family centered, that we assure that children are supported to be successful in school, and that families are healthy, stable, and attached. And so, in addition to these three shared goals that all hubs across the state share, we also then develop our own goals that based on the unique needs of each community and each that we're serving, or the multiple communities that might be served in a larger hub. And so Chelsea's now going to start talking about some of the programs. So the hubs, in addition to being the conveners of lots of different partners, also fund specific programs designated by the Early Learning Division.
Exactly. So the Early Learning Division gives funding to each of these 16 hubs and then puts the responsibility on those hubs to appropriately kind of get those services out into the community in ways that are specific and unique to each community, knowing that in the eastern part of the state, the programs may look different, and certainly even just close in from Clackamas to Multnomah, the services that families need and the way that programs should look for those communities might be different as well. So, one of the programs that comes out of our Early Learning Hub is our Kindergarten Partnership and Innovation Grants, and those are called KPI grants. Those programs are really looking to improve school readiness and school success and reduce the achievement gaps for children entering kindergarten. We know at the end of year 5 that was a stop point for your brain. What your brain had at year 5, after that those rules changed a little bit. Entering kindergarten does kind of change the rules for kiddos. So we want to make sure that there's as strong as possible of a transition from our preschool and toddler years into our kindergarten years. Our KPI programs, they can support kindergarten readiness, family engagement, professional development, or aligned and connected systems within the early learning world. So our current KPI partners that we're working with right now are the folks you see up here on the screen. And some of the work that they're doing, you can see North Clackamas School District, we provide funding and support so that they can do Jumpstart to Kindergarten programs. This is a 2-week opportunity for students who haven't had a preschool experience to have those 2 weeks with a kindergarten teacher in their kindergarten classroom before school starts so that they're more well adjusted to what school is going to be like. We have our Todos Juntos partners. Some of those are here with us today. Todos Juntos does work in our rural communities, and the work they do with their kindergarten partnership is honestly everything out there in the rural areas. They're running kindergarten transition programs, they're running parenting support groups, they're running support groups for kindergarteners who are struggling in those first couple months as well to make sure that that transition isn't just smooth coming into kindergarten, but remains smooth throughout that first year for them. Yeah. So the sites that have Head Start at them, so like Todos Juntos is at Sandy Grade School. They do work at Sandy Grade School, and there's a Head Start at Sandy Grade School. So they are partnering with those families. They are doing joint parent engagement activities, and they're working with that organization as well. Um, about connecting to our Head Starts, our Clackamas County Children's Commission runs many of the Head Start programs here. And with some KPI funding that we were able to provide through the Early Learning Hub, they're doing additional professional development this year, bringing in preschool teachers and kindergarten teachers to work on professional development of math programs to see that those systems are aligned and that what we're learning as preschool classrooms is really feeding in smoothly to what the math standards for kindergarten are going to be. So that's some professional development alignment there. Similar preschool type programs for Metropolitan Family Service, Gladstone School District also have KPI funding. Many of you maybe have heard of the Ready Set Go preschool program, which is a parent-child cooperative preschool program out in North Clackamas. And perhaps you've heard of in Gladstone we have the Gladstone Teaching Preschool, which we provide some funding through our KPI for, and then they also partner with the Opal School to do really hands-on inquiry-based kindergarten and preschool practices. And then finally, Clackamas Education Service District runs some rural programs. They're doing some play groups and some other parent cafes around kindergarten readiness for parents and professionals out in Canby and Malala. So one of the things that's lovely about the KPI program is you can hear as I'm explaining all of these, it's different in each area. We know that depending on where you are within our large, diverse county, the programs can look different. And depending on which organization you are, you may have different specialties to work with parents. So it's really lovely the way that the Early Learning Hub allows the hubs that sort of innovative flexibility to make sure that we're catering programs to the families in our community. Here's some lovely pictures of what KPI looks like. So this doesn't look like doing worksheets where you're tracing your alphabet letters. This is playing, this is engaging families, engaging children at young ages, and then making sure that families have the supports to take home with them so they continue that learning at home as well.
So I get to tell you about another program that is funded through the Hub, is Family Resource Coordinators. And I'm really excited. There's many Family Resource Coordinators in the room. So can you raise your hand if you're a Family Resource Coordinator anywhere in Multnomah, Washington, Clackamas County? I think I heard some other people. So thank you for being here. So Family Resource Coordinators provide support and assistance to help families with children 0 to 6. And they're available to all families and in all parts of the county. And they really focus on early childhood success. And they help to identify services that meet the immediate needs of families. So their primary focus is really to connect families with needed supports. And those could be anything from establishing a medical home, signing up for kindergarten or a child care program, any parenting support needs, and any other basic needs, things like WIC, health insurance, that kind of thing. So what we know is that a lot of the systems, the school systems, the medical systems, special education systems, they can be extremely difficult to navigate, especially if English isn't your first language or you're not familiar with how these systems work. So families resource coordinators are a fantastic resource and support for families that help them navigate through those systems. So we fund, the Hub funds family resource coordinators in these areas. So we work with these three organizations: Metropolitan Family Services, Todos Juntos, and Northwest Family Services. And so there are many other family resource coordinators in the community as well. So these are just a few yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. These are just a few stats for we because one of the things that we do as part of the hub is we collect a lot of information about the services that are delivered and how families are accessing the services and how successful those are. So these are just some over the last quarters that we've collected around from this January to March, and these are just the three programs that I talked about on the former slide. 85 parents and children were served in rural communities and 198 parents and children in urban communities. And then the quarter before that, you'll see from October, December, 111 parents and children in rural communities and 296 parents and children in urban communities. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of families being supported and connected to resources that they need. And the next program I get to talk about is Preschool Promise. Preschool Promise is a state funded early learning program for children 3 to 4. And it is for children that are at 200% or less than the poverty line. And that's the qualification for that. The primary goal is um, to support young children to thrive and succeed in school, and to allow families to choose a preschool program that best meets their children's need, as well as to really provide linguistically and culturally appropriate services in a quality setting. In 2016, Clackamas was selected as one of 8 communities in the state to receive funding for Preschool Promise. And our funding serves children in a full day preschool in Sandy and at the Oregon Child Development Coalition site in Malino. And so we currently only serve 18 children through that particular program in those 2 sites. Again, because of our population, we have a smaller number. Other counties in the state serve larger numbers, and this is an area we anticipate continuing to grow throughout the state.
So other things that we do that are not necessarily the funding, some of these funding streams we've been talking about, KPI or the Preschool Promise, those are definitely from the Early Learning Division at the state, more designated. This funding goes towards these kind of programs. But as the Early Learning Hub, we also have that opportunity to look at our community and see ways that we can improve it and do some of our more personally innovative programs, using a lot of our advisory groups to guide us in programs that would benefit the community. We have our Clackamas Parenting Together, which is our parenting education hub. So, Clackamas Parenting Together provides parenting education programs for all families in all parts of Clackamas County who have children 0 to 6. Something that's really lovely about Clackamas Parenting Together is their mission and their goal to really shift the stigma on parenting education and say that any parent can benefit from coming to a parent education class, and making those really easy to access for all of those families. That Clackamas Parenting Together, we have a website and a Facebook page, making it really easy for families to find that information. Also, making it easy for any of you providers who maybe are working with families that might be interested in a parenting group or a play group or a summer story time. Going on our website, there's a lovely calendar that is very updated and has all of the current information, not only about programs that we are funding through the county and the Early Learning Hub, but we also pool all of our community partners. So if you're looking for library story times or summer concerts in the park or different play groups from any of our partners, those are also on that calendar. It's a wonderful spot to send families or for you yourself to go and check out. Something that many of you may have remembered was last fall, we ran a campaign called Make a Splash, which was our free children's rain boot campaign. And we gave out 802 pairs of boots to children ages 3 to 5 here in Clackamas County. We knew that it gets rainy, it gets mucky, and oftentimes these kiddos who are going to preschool or are going to daycare, they're not able to go outside and play because their shoes are wet. They don't have appropriate shoes to be playing, but playing outside builds their brains. So we decided rain boots was the Oregonian thing that we should be supporting children and families with. So we'll continue that program and we'll look forward to kind of sharing that information with all of you as we roll that out again this fall. Other things that we have done in the last couple of years as an early learning hub, we've provided Ready for Kindergarten. Those are parenting education classes that really prepare parents in the ways to teach their children the skills for kindergarten. So, Ready for Kindergarten classes, parents come, they learn how to play with the toys, they go home with the toys or books or puzzles so that they can then use those skills with their kiddos. It's very hands on and very interactive. We've done Ready for Kindergarten classes in North Clackamas in English and Spanish, and also out in Canby in English and Spanish. And we just see that those parents who attend love getting that hands on experience for how they can teach their kiddos those kindergarten readiness skills. Each year for the last three years, we have done Get Prepped for Preschool. And Get Prepped for Preschool is an opportunity for preschool providers, both public, private, all of those, anybody who is providing a preschool setting, we bring them together in one spot, and it's kind of like college night but for preschool. And so parents can come and shop around and see all of the different programs that are in their community. We've had Get Prep for Preschool in Oregon City and in North Clackamas for the last couple of years, and we've seen each year over 200 parents come to check out all of these preschool options. There's a lot of options. And so giving that opportunity for parents to say, do I want my child to be in a full day program, into a half day program? Is it a nature based program? Do I want an academic based program? There's so many, and allowing parents that opportunity to really find a good fit for them supports these families in making sure their children get high quality preschool education so that they're better prepared for their transition to kindergarten. Other things that we support, Vroom. If you have never been onto the Join Vroom website, it's wonderful. It has a video that'll make you cry, and it really shows the ways that parents can be a support to their kiddos just by being themselves. They have the skills that they need already to build strong brains like we were doing today. And then the last piece down here, our photo with our pinwheels. Maybe many of you joined us in April for our child abuse prevention activities. We often do professional development around child abuse prevention. We partner with the Children's Center to really bring attention and awareness and celebration too to all of the work that we do here in Clackamas County to really be supporting families and keeping kiddos safe. So we do a lot. The Early Learning Hub really looks to connect with a lot of different agencies, individuals, organizations here in Clackamas County, and make sure that we're providing programs that are meeting the needs of the communities that we're serving. We have up here on the slide, but then also I believe it was at the back table printed out this same information. So if you're feeling really interested and like you'd like to continue to be involved in early learning work, we've got some great opportunities. We have a monthly meeting of early childhood professionals, which is here in this space once a month. Each region also has a regional P3, which is our prenatal to third grade committees. And those committees seek to bring together providers from sort of that spectrum, prenatal all the way through the kindergarten transition, the preschool transition, up into early elementary school, and say, what are we doing in our region to support early childhood? You can see that there's McLaughlin, North Clackamas, and Sandy. If you are here today kind of representing any of those, could you raise your hand real quick? I'm gonna Bill's there, they're there, they're here. So there's some folks, and if you're interested, they could give you more information or come up and ask us after the presentation as well. We can tell you about when each of those has a different meeting schedule and how you could join and just kind of get your ear to what's happening in those communities. We have our Spanish and English Parent Advisory Committee. So we know that the work that we're doing cannot possibly be family engaging and family oriented if we don't bring in the families. So a lot of our work is driven by what our English and Parent Spanish Advisory Councils say. I've got two parents who joined us today. Kristen's here and Sophie's playing with her kiddos in the back. She even brought kids to show the beauty that is early childhood. Those advisory councils help us make decisions on the programs that we're doing, and they also plan their own events. This August, they're planning a fun run diaper dash. So keep your eyes out for that. That's going to be the coolest thing to do in August for sure. We have our home visiting committee, which brings together professionals who work specifically in delivering some sort of early childhood education in a home based setting, and that meets monthly. Our social emotional wellness committee. I don't believe Nina was able to join us today, but we partner with folks in behavioral health and other social emotional and mental health services for early childhood here in the county to make sure that we're keeping our eyes on how to keep children healthy, not just physically, but also the social emotional aspect. And then Our early childhood health connections is more of that medical and physical, looking at a lot of our partnerships with our Head Starts and sort of the screenings that go in, vision, dental, health connections in that way. So there are lots of opportunities to get involved. If you're interested in continuing the conversation of early childhood, I really do encourage you ask us for more info. Um, bring the worksheet home with you so you can kind of remember. Oh yeah, I was going to try and hook into when that meeting was because there's some good opportunities and we'd love to have more folks join us. Those are kind of our big snapshot what we're doing here as an early learning hub. And we wanted to give opportunities for any folks who had questions to ask those. But we're being recorded right now. So if you have a question, I need to bring you a microphone before you ask it. No questions. No questions. Okay. Well, congratulations on building your brains. Your brains were excellent. Congratulations to all of you on that. Thank you for coming and learning about the Early Learning Hub. We will stick around if you had other information you're looking forward to. And if not, go out and enjoy your bright sunny day. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Have a great day.